Quiet of the night where dreams take flight. Voices whisper softly, shining like the stars so bright. Every heart has a story, don't you ever forget. Let's open our minds, share the journey, no regret. Here we gather, a circle of hope, sharing laughter and tears, we learn just how to cope. Every tale we tell, it helps to heal our souls. In the space of understanding, together we become whole. So let the words flow, let the music rise. In your head we're chanting, the stories come alive. Every heartbeat echoes where our spirits thrive. From fears to triumphs, we'll paint the skies anew. In this podcast journey, I'm here with you.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you are listening to In Your Head with Shannon Standiford.
Welcome, everyone, to In Your Head with Shannon Stanford. I am your host, Shannon Stanford, and today's guest is my good buddy, Tommy Snow. Now, if you are a longtime listener to the show, Tommy was on the show in the first year. The quality wasn't really that great, but he had an amazing story about what life was like for him. He battles MS every day, and I met him through professional wrestling, and he is one of the funniest MFers around. And you're going to want to listen to the show, because not only do we talk about what life is like for him right now with MS, but we talk about the business of professional wrestling, what it's like for us, guys that are forced out. We laugh. Oh, God, do we laugh. You're going to have so much fun with this interview. Go check. You're going to... Yeah, I'm just so excited for it. No. Tommy, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good, brother. It's good to see you, man.
It's always good to see you too, man. So, you were one of the initial people that I had on the in the first year, whenever it was just audio. So, for those people that haven't heard your story or seen you in a long time, you are. I met you in professional wrestling whenever we were doing the indie thing. So early on in our career. Yeah. So, and we in that episode you talked about getting diagnosed with MS, and so how are things going with you?
Good. I'll give just a quick recap on the whole thing. 2001, I started having trouble. I was having numbness and tingling in my legs and stuff, and I couldn't figure it out. And long story short, after going through all the trials and tribulations, the ducts and the MRIs, and I haven't glowed in the dark yet. After all the radiation I've had, I really wanted to glow in the dark. I think that would just be so cool.
Right?
But alas, I don't. But anyway, and it really it shut down my fans only, because it's like I wanted to take pictures in the dark, and all people got was a blank screen, and I was like, but I'm supposed to glow, and they're like, yeah, no, you're out of here. And so that's how that ended. But yes, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, and I think I probably had a pity party for about a few months, and then after that, I decided it's time to get busy living or get busy dying. And one of the sayings I've adapted since then is, people say, well, you only live once. And my interpretation of that is, you only die once. You have to live every day. And that's what I've been doing. I entered the world of professional wrestling. I had the time of my life. I met brothers like you and people that have their family to me.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling has basically my highest highs and my lowest lows. And if it wasn't professional wrestling, I don't know if I'd be here right now, because basically the Island of Misfit Toys saved my life.
Damn sure it did. Yeah.
It's just, that's the only way I can put it, because my brothers and my wrestling family are a group of people that no one really understands. much like myself. They're like, wait a minute, you guys put on outfits, change your name, and beat the hell out of each other with everyone calling it fake, and you love it. I was like,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, kind of better than, I don't know. I've never been good at golf. I can't play pickleball, and frisbee golf is just, that's a lot of walking, and so this is a lot more fun.
I mean, in no other sport, because it is a sport, in no other sport can you beat the shit out of your best friends and then go for a beer afterwards and nobody be mad at each other.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't know how many times we've all beat the shit out of each other, went out afterwards to either a bar or like your house or some other place and
Oh,
just
yeah.
got royally just obliterated and just had the time of our life recapping all the shit that we just did like an hour or two before.
And I'll even add some more humor to this. When, okay, just for the folks that don't know any about this, I will say, like, the first 6 or 7 years, no, maybe a little longer than that, I hid my MS. I
Mm-hmm.
created a gimmick to where if I stuttered or stammered, because when my body temperature goes up, I'll slur, and it's hard to understand me. So I created a gimmick to where people just thought it was me working my gimmick. And the funny part was, fast forward after my MS got bad and I had to retire, it was great because we would be telling war stories at a bar or after a show somewhere. I got a cane or possibly a wheelchair, depending on how I felt that day. And you guys were like, we beat the hell out of that guy. And everyone was like, oh my God. And I was like, and I love him for it.
The looks alone that
And when I
when
look
people
at him, I'm like,
would see that,
who says Meals on Wheels doesn't get hate?
right? I swear, and I was telling a work friend of mine that there were so many times during these moments where we would beat the shit out of each other, and we'd be talking about it, and like and he would be asking like some like for like backstage, secrets and stuff like that. It's like, well, I'm not gonna tell you anything about how a match gets put together because at that time we were I still kind of believe in
Kayfabe.
protecting I still
Yeah.
believe in kayfabe. Still, uh, you know, I don't pretend anything, but I was like, I'll tell you some stuff that we were doing. Like, it's like I told him about how, for the longest time, Chatterbox or Chad Phillips, and Spook Show, two guys from Our Days in Wrestling, both gay. I had no idea Spooky was gay. I had no idea Chad was gay, but Chad was. So, and I tell him this, and I told him the gimmick. I was like, in hindsight, it was there. Okay, it was clearly there. I was
Yes,
like,
very
but I
much.
was like, I'm just looking at these guys as my brothers in the locker room.
Yeah,
Guys that we just And I was like, and you get a bunch of guys together. I was like, we are just horrible to each other. We say
true.
the worst stuff. I was like,
And, well, you got to remember, we came from a time era to where sexuality was never an issue with us.
no, it really wasn't.
I mean, and so this is like, hey, that guy's gay. Well, good for him. I'm
Cool.
going to go smoke a cigar. He can go smoke not a cigar.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just, and we didn't care. And
No,
now,
we did.
I mean, if we were to have those conversations today,
I brought that up, and I told him I was like, my time in anything would be gone. I was
yes,
like, I would be
because, and
canceled.
we
Yeah.
came up in the great, I believe, what I like about our time era of our career is we used to have to go to newsstands to find the magazines about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And there was PWI, Ringside, and a couple others, but you had to flip to the back of the magazine so you could see if there's a school around or if there was something, what else was going on,
Yeah.
basically like our version of the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
just to find. I mean, there was no internet, and I remember when the MySpace started, and I was like, "That ain't never gonna take off. What the hell is MySpace?" And everyone's got a
Yeah.
friend named Tom. What the hell shit is that? And then then everyone's got a MySpace. Well, the next thing you know is, and that's back when dial-up was a thing. So if you wanted to get on your MySpace, you had and just wait and wait and wait, and then the Facebook, which is where we're at now today, and that started up, and then I remember, man, you used to have those stacks of business cards,
Yeah.
and we traveled everywhere. And you were like, if you're a promoter, here, take my number, call me.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes it worked out. Sometimes you got called out in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, "Oh, the gate was light, man. Can you come back next month?" And I was like,
We'll get into some of these war stories later. So back to your MS. I mean, how you doing with it now? I mean, I know for a little while you were walker bound, and then you were cane, and then walker, and then wheelchair bound. So you went the full spectrum.
yeah, I with MS, it's every day's a crapshoot because you just never know. You can wake up feeling good, and you can wake up not feeling so good. And there's I don't even know the word for it, but it was this story, and this guy explained it in a way, the best way I can explain it. It's like you wake up every day with so many spoons in your hand. Now, those spoons equal your energy. Now, see, you get up, you take a shower, you get dressed. All right, well, there's a couple spoons. All right, you make breakfast, you do some chores, you head to work. There's a couple spoons. You do an 8-hour shift. All right, that's almost all your spoons. You got a few left for home. And then you get home and you only have like 2 or 3 spoons to make dinner, clean up, and then take care of whatever you have to. If you didn't use them all up at work, and if you didn't use them up before then. Now, you don't get to carry spoons over to the next day. Once the day's over, your spoons start over. And that's the best way I can think to explain it. And I do walk with a cane right now, but I have been really working diligently on, for one night, I'm going to put that son of a bitch down. And I am praying, and I had a moment of, we'll talk about that, but I had a moment because, we all have our morning rituals, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Mine is, I get up usually about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I'm a creature of habit, and I like coffee. And I don't really get any sociable until I have my coffee. Because some people are like that, Probably all those years on the road actually might add to my caffeine addiction.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that a 6-hour drive, you wrestle a match, and then you have 6 hours to drive home in the middle of the night. You don't want to hit a deer. You don't want to, but you have to stay alert. And this is when those power drinks came out, the little 5-hour shots.
Yeah.
Before they discovered, hey, we can make these work without making them taste like panther piss. I remember you would plug, shoot, have a seizure in the front seat. Everyone, what's the matter? Nothing, I'm fine. I'm just ready to go now.
Yeah.
And but my morning ritual is I get up, I have my coffee, and sometimes I'm not really praying as more as I'm having a conversation.
Yeah.
That's my relationship with the man upstairs. I'm like, hey, thanks for a good day. What we got on tap today? And one day, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, but I've been putting together a fundraiser to where I have dusted off the old gear and for one more time. Just one more time. And I'll explain there's another reason why I have to do this. But, and I asked him, man, I said, man, am I screwing up? What am I doing? And because everyone has self-doubt. It does come up.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I just had all this self-doubt come over. I was just, what am I doing? And you know me, money, that's not me. I'm just, full throttle, let's do this. But for whatever reason, I was pumping the brakes. And I was like, man, am I making a mistake? And I'm drinking my coffee, and for whatever reason, my routine is I have my coffee and my breakfast. I've been really watching my weight lately. And I've always been a very large wrestler. Well, now I've lost over 80 pounds. And not fast, but thank you, sir. But my breakfast is a hard-boiled egg with some hot sauce. And if I have a piece of bacon in the fridge, I'll eat it. If not, it's mostly just a hard-boiled egg. But for whatever reason, I'm having all these thoughts. I have my breakfast, and something gets stuck in my teeth to the point I'm like, ow, ow, and I need a toothpick. And we've all got that one drawer in the kitchen that opens real good, and when you need something, it's in there. Well, that's where my toothpicks were. That drawer, since I've lived in this house for the last 12 years, or 11, whatever, has never once jammed. That drawer jammed that morning. And I'm like, what the? Whoa. And I'm like, you're my favorite. No, open up. And it's not doing it. And here I am I want to enjoy my coffee. I'm trying to have a conversation. And this drawer is screwing it up for me. And to the point where I'm really like pulling open, like sticking my hand in there, trying to like pull, and I'm pulling things out little by little. Finally, I get my hand in there. I'm like, what is sticking in there? I need a toothpick. And what was keeping the drawer from opening that I got my hand on was a brand new roll of sports tape that I would wrap around my wrists when I wrestled. And I'm looking at it going, all right, self-doubt gone. Here, we're all right. And I remember I sat there and I stared at it for a good hour. And I went back to my wife was waking up. I brought her some coffee and I told her the exact same story I told you. And I held up that roll of tape. And she just looks at me and goes, "You're having a wrestling show." I said, "Yes, I am."
That is a definitely powerful moment. It was one of the it's one of those moments. It's a sign from God. Yeah.
Yeah, and that one just it just hit me. Okay, I'm a very firm believer, but I've never had anything hit me like that before, which was pretty wild. And you can mark this on the calendar of things that have ever shut me up, because I think you only got 4 or 5 on there that have ever truly shut me up. But
yeah, that maths, the maths. Well,
I mean, that's true.
That just shows, that some things are meant to be, and
Yes.
Clearly that is one of those moments.
Yeah, and that one hit me like a ton of bricks, and so it's like, all right, we're gonna do this, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, I mean, you should be, and we'll get into that later. But I got a question. As both of us, were kind of we were forced to say, "Hey, we can't do this anymore."
Yes.
Yes. You with the MS, me with concussions, and what I would later find out, a shitty spine.
Right.
So,
and a lot of that, and I credit you for being pound for pound one of the toughest SOBs in wrestling. You weighed $105, sopping wet, constipated with 5 pounds of shit, and you were still the lightest SOB on the card, and you took anything from anybody, and you look at him like, you hit like a bitch. And
with the exception of Tree, who, for those that don't know, Tree was or is 7'7", about
Yeah.
at that time, I don't know, about what, 350, 400, something like that. I don't know.
Large and in charge.
Yeah, he was large. There was one thing that I told him that I was not going to do. And like mind you, I was very still young in the business, and I don't remember who it was that told him that it would be great for the show if he gorilla pressed me and threw me out into the audience. And I was like, listen, I was like, and he was new, like new. Like he was like maybe like a couple months in. I at least had like 6 months in. And I was
Was
like,
that the? I remember when it happened. It was in Holton, Kansas, at the Green
yep,
Building.
yep.
And did he throw you out, or was it a
So
choke slam?
he wanted to like I think the promoter or whoever was running it wanted him to gorilla press me out. And I was like, no. I don't feel comfortable doing that. It's nothing against you. Nice guy. I just met him. I was like, we're gonna need to come up with something else.
Yeah,
And that's
sure.
whenever he did the double choke slam, and with that me being that high up, and then him forcing me down, I over rotated, and that's when I smacked the shit out of my head.
Got a stinger.
And dude, I was so concussed, man. I don't know how many. I don't know. I haven't told the story a lot, but I was out for like 2 weeks. Like I legit was so like blacked out for like 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks in my life afterwards that I had no idea what
Oh
happened.
wow. Yeah, that's some scary stuff, man.
Yeah, and that was even before like concussions became,
Well, talked about. After that, I mean,
yeah, talked
before
about.
that, I remember there was a couple times I drove home and the whole ride is foggy.
Yeah,
And I just remember they're like, if you bang your head, drink some water, you'll be fine.
yeah, yeah. I remember, and like
I'm still messed up.
Brandon loves to tell a story. Like I remember getting out of the ring, like rolling out and like getting halfway down the aisle, and then I blacked
Yeah.
out. And then I remember coming to, and I'm fully dressed in my street clothes, smoking a cigarette with the boys, looking at the cigarette, going, "Where the where am I? Like how? When did I get dressed?" Brandon likes to tell me he's like he told me he's like, I looked at you and I was like, are you fucking there? Are you sure? Are you okay? And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm
that head
good.
trauma's something.
Yeah.
I
So yeah,
remember
and
I
then I,
had
I
a.
remember waking up like 2 weeks later, like coming out of the fog 2 weeks later,
Mhm.
uh, and I was at my like my shoot job. So I was like, which apparently while I was completely out of it, I was a great boyfriend and a great employee because I was on
Because you couldn't
autopilot.
argue or talk stuff with anybody because you were
Yeah,
so like, okay, hey, money, yeah, we that need. All right.
right, exactly. So with that being said, I mean, like I know it's been hard for me whenever I had to retire because I fought it because like the concussions, I was like, okay, I'm good. I haven't had a concussion in so long. I would get back in the ring every now and then. I would do like a manager gimmick, the GM gimmick. Every now and then I'd get into the ring. But after I find out, about my neck and my back and how jacked up and shit that is, like
Mm-hmm.
the doctor legit told me you will be paralyzed. And
Right.
that was a gut punch, because
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
wrestling was everything to me. It was like the first love that I'll ever have. It's nothing there's nothing
Yeah.
comparing that to that. And like I'm sorry to my fiance or hell anybody
Yeah.
that I was ever in a relationship with
Re-
before, but wrestling was always the first love.
Wrestling is that one addiction that you discover when you're young,
Hmm.
and in my case and some other guys, it becomes your secret life goal. because you go to you play football, not because you're supposed to, because you want to play football to get those big muscles so you can wrestle. You go out for the wrestling team, even though you know it's not in a ring, but it's on a mat. You're like, hey, this will help me when I get there. And then when you finally get there, you're like, yes, I made it. And everything happens, and then you're living your dream, and it gets taken from you. So wrestling is the one thing that can drive you to get there. But when it ends, if you're not ready for it to end, that's probably the hardest pill to swallow I think I can think of.
It is. I mean, mentally, it took me a very long time. I couldn't even watch it anymore. For like a year or two. Like I couldn't
Yeah,
even watch it after my last venture into the ring, and I couldn't even I didn't want to talk about it. It was just so hard because mentally I felt more lost than I've ever felt in my
and
entire life.
it hurts,
Um,
man. It really hurts.
before and I'm talking like it was worse than before I even before I even got into the business because I was lost then, but I was more lost because whenever something's taken from you, like something like that, something that you love is
Yes,
taken from you like that.
exactly.
It's like losing, a spouse or God,
It's it's a part of you. I mean,
yeah,
it is just a part of you, and people, and I did it as long as I could. And people are like, "Well, what are you gonna do? Yeah, if you ever can't." I was like, I don't ever think about that because I can't imagine not doing it.
yeah, because we
And
were young, we were naive, and we thought, like, hey, no, I'm gonna go until, as long as I physically can. And whenever somebody's like, "Oh, when do you think you're gonna retire? Or what are you gonna do whenever you can't do it anymore?" You don't have that mindset because if you had that mindset going into it, then you wouldn't be where you were or where you were wanting to
yeah,
go.
yeah, and it's just when you're well, back in the day, there was no end game. It was we're gonna ride this ride till the wheels fall off.
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
we did actually, and but it's the one thing that used to really frustrate me was just like you said, when you have something taken from you,
hmm
and then I mean, yes, was I at an extreme low? Of course I was. Um, and then to hear people go, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You want to grab him by the ears and knee him in the fucking head and say, "Do you really, buddy? Do ya?"
yeah,
And it's hard. But the only way you can really, and the only people you can talk about it with are your fellow brothers in wrestling. But where are they
hmm
at? On the road at another show. Where are you at? At home.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's the hardest part for me is like most a lot of the boys and a lot of the girls, everyone like most of them always had that dream. They want to go to WWE, WCW, and now or like, nowadays it's like AEW, WWE, TNA, like all these other promotions that are popping up that are really
Right.
super popular. And I'm really glad that the business is hitting that hot spot again.
Yeah.
But I was a realist. I knew somebody my size was never gonna make it to WWE or all these other places. I knew
Sure.
that. I was like the best thing about it was like I was doing something that I always wanted to do just because everyone told me that I couldn't do it. And I was
Right.
good with that. It was
Well,
those moments that I couldn't I can't express just how much like proving people wrong about
yeah. Isn't that
something
great
that they
though?
said. Yeah, it's
People
great.
told
It's
you
the
you
best feeling
couldn't
in the
do it
world.
because you were too small. They said I couldn't do it because I had MS. And I think we got a great satisfaction is the fact that
Yeah.
we both submitted pretty damn pretty damn good runs. I think
Yeah.
we did great. You know?
I mean, it took me a little bit. I had to steal a lot of shit from Charlie Sheen, but I found a gimmick that worked.
Oh, oh God, yeah.
That Sheen gimmick, all right, so for those that don't know, my gimmick was that I thoroughly believed that Charlie Sheen was a god. So I build myself from the Church of Charlie, and I've read The Book of Sheen, which when he released his book, The Book of Sheen, I was so pissed because I was like, why didn't I fucking copyright that? So like I thoroughly believe, and I went I ended every fucking promo or interview with winning and like Tiger's blood, all the I stole so much because 90% of wrestling is wrestlers stealing other people's shit and making
Yes.
it their own.
Oh yes, yes. Well, it's like the snow gimmick. I
Yeah.
got that exact just because of how I looked. And
Yeah.
because all us white guys with long black hair and a mustache, we all look alike, no problem. All right, I get that. And when I met Al, and I met Al through Mr. Coachman, who was his son, Jonathan Coachman, was a commentator for WWE. And yeah, I met Al, and I was so super green, I was shiny. And it I asked him about that. He said, "Do people like it?" It's like, "I think so. I'm just getting started." He goes, "So they buy tickets and they come to see it? Do it." Okay. And then fast forward years later, I got to tag with him, which was amazing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was me and him against Danimal and Rick Steiner. And when you're looking across the ring at Rick Steiner, he's got that dog collar on going, you're kind of like, I chose to be here.
Yeah, I think I did that whenever I wrestled Big Hoss. I think it was my first win whenever me and Brandon were in a handicap match against him in Atchison, Kansas. Uh, I remember standing right across the ring from that very large man, and I was like, I wanted to do this. I chose to do this,
And for
and
those of you
I'm
that don't
going
know,
to die.
Big Hoss is what, 6'5"?
6'5". He had to be
At the
all
time,
like,
he was a good 400 or 500 pounds, wasn't he?
yeah. Doing a
Yeah.
moonsault off the
Yes,
top rope.
yes.
Yeah.
First time I
Okay.
saw that, I'm like, I'm checking my drink for drugs. I'm like, did I just hallucinate, or did that big
I
son of a bitch just do a moonsault? And he did.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you were there. I think because I think you might have been there, and a couple of the other guys were there from like another promotion, and I think you guys were like heckling or something like that. And I remember Haas put me and Brandon on the mat, laid us down, and he's climbing the turnbuckle, and I could not remember if he said to move. And I was like, I'm looking at Brandon, and like under my breath, I'm like, "Are we supposed to move? I'm not. I don't want. I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this." And so we fucking rolled out of the way. But like, I swear to God, seeing a 400, 500 pound man moonsault like up in the air, yes, in reality, it went like that.
Yes.
But in my mind, it was taking forever. And I was like, when do I move? When do I move? When do I move? Because I didn't want to die.
Oh, well, no, I understand that.
So, but yeah, you whenever something's taken away from you like that, you like something that you love. I mean, mentally, it is terrifying to try to figure out what you're going to do next.
Yeah. And
I
it
was
kind of,
lucky to find this podcast.
yes.
Um,
And speaking for myself, it kind of puts a chip on the old shoulder,
it does.
It makes a guy grumpy.
Really,
I
really
mean,
fucking grumpy.
that's the best rated G version I could really say that. But yeah, it makes a guy grumpy. And the hard part is, and I'm sure you can relate, is people want to know why you're grumpy, and
Yeah.
they don't understand it.
No.
Because living a passion is a little, it's just different. I can't put it into words. when you're living your dream and then it gets jerked out from you. Most people don't do what we did by living their dream. They work a 9 to 5, they go home, and they just eat, sleep, repeat, eat, sleep, repeat. And I want to say that we pushed the envelope as far as we could.
Yeah, I like to tell everyone that in both of our cases, we pushed our bodies past the limits that anybody thought was possible. And
Yeah.
I will always be forever proud of what I did in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Was I a great wrestler? By all means, no. I'm no Punk. I'm no Danielson. I'm no Koch. As no, by no means was I ever that good. But I was
Yeah.
good at what I did. I pissed off
Yes.
people. I mean, coming to doing a show where they didn't even announce my name and walking out and having everybody boo me.
Yeah.
Just
And if
because they remembered what I did to piss them off the month before.
yeah, and um, along those same lines, I was never a great wrestler. But it was my gimmick. It was my comedy spots that got me over.
Yeah.
And the fact that my theme music, no matter what it was, always started off with Sloth from the Goonies going, "Hey, you guys." And I remember in the back, and I would meet some new guys that didn't know me, and I said, "You want to see the funniest thing ever?" And they're like, "What?" I said, "This whole crowd is going to pop over Sloth from the Goonies." They're like, "What?" I said, "Just trust me. Watch." And as soon as they heard, "Oh, God," and everyone went nuts, and they're sitting there going, How?
Oh yeah. I don't know how many times I'd be sitting or standing next to a guy in the locker room, just either just getting dressed or like taking off my gimmicks and stuff like that, and like hear your music, big ass pop, and some of the young guys would be like, "What? How is he so over?"
That was some of my
Because
biggest
he's
heat with some
Tommy.
guys that some guys couldn't get over, and they hated me for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trust me. I'd hear some guys in the locker room that like were new, to the promotion or something like that. I'd never been around before. Just, coming up like I just don't understand how somebody that like that, that looks like that and wrestles like that is so over, and I'm over here and I'm jacked, and like I'm putting on clinics. I'm like, yeah, but are you entertaining? This isn't like NWA, this isn't WCW, like WWE, where like that'll get you a little bit further. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're not popping this small town, or this 10 to 200 people, depending on the gate, then they're not gonna want to see you. They're not gonna
Yeah.
buy your stuff. They're not gonna stand in line to ask you for your autograph. You have to put in the effort to be entertaining. And I was like, and Tommy is more entertaining in his pinky than you are like, sitting in front of me.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. You paid me a compliment, I'll pay you one too.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, I mean, and with with all that, I mean, there's this whole like in the business. I mean, sadly, there's so much mental health problems within the business between the concussions and the uh, addictions, and like God,
Well,
so many suicides and drug related
yes,
deaths and stuff like that in our business, and it sucks.
it does, because when we have our, which are kind of, we have our get-togethers. Normally, we sit down and we're like, "Okay, who's dead? Anybody new? What's
Yeah.
And it's sadly, we lose at least what, and I'm not. It kind of sucks to say, but we lose what, 3 or 4 a year,
Yep.
whether it
Yeah.
be suicide, OD, or however. You know what? However they go is how they go, but just we lose that many a year. It's too
Yeah.
many.
It is.
You know, and it
And
sucks, and it does wear on your mental health because the guys that you've always been there to hold you up, and the ones that held you up, and you hold them, they hold you, and it's a team, and then next thing you know, they're gone.
yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know,
mean, yeah, I think back, I mean, yeah, we've lost a lot of like, like the bigger name people, while those suck, I mean, for me, the ones that really hurt the most was the ones that, we came up with, the ones that we were around, in the locker
yeah,
room,
yeah.
going to the ring, setting or taking the ring down, taking shots at the bar, doing fucking roast, that kind of stuff, and
Oh yes, the PM Money roast will forever go down in infamy as the greatest roast in the history of professional wrestling.
yeah.
And for those lucky enough to see this, there have seen it. Trust me, it was funny. Now,
Oh
granted,
God,
there
yes.
is video evidence of this out there, but I think we kind of keep that on the down low.
We do because I don't know how how much of that would be allowed to be on the internet.
Oh my God. Uh, uh, yeah, we used to worry about Facebook jail. Oh my goodness, could you even imagine?
Right. But yeah, so like we've lost a lot of our brothers,
Yes.
over the last couple of years. We've lost Johnny Rockahara. To me, honestly, one of the best refs ever.
Yes, and Johnny was a great human being. I mean, there's nothing bad I could say about him.
No, no, he was great. I fucking loved like just being able to talk to him and hang out with him, and so fortunate that there like most of my matches he was the ref for.
Yes,
So
yeah.
some of my favorite matches has Johnny in them. So
Hmm.
that those always mean more to me now, especially now.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. Two of my bloodiest matches ever was with um, Mr. Fitness or trying to think of his Eric.
Woodard.
That wasn't his gimmick name.
No, no. Eric
Eric
Fantabulous.
Fantabulous. Eric Fantabulous. Me and him damn near killed each other a couple, but Johnny was our ref, and it worked. It's just I'll always remember him. And those matches get brought up, he pops in my head,
Mhm.
and it was great. It was
Yeah.
so great, and they're another guy I mean, and they're hard pills to swallow because they're such great human beings, and one that really hit me hard, and probably hit you too, as well as a lot of people, was Blade Braxton.
Yes.
Uh, he was okay. When I went through my divorce, which was no divorce is good. They're all ugly. They're all terrible. It's a bad deal, you know. Uh, but I'm like rock bottom. I get my house back and it's in shambles. Blade comes over in complete Blade fashion. Snowman, you got hardwood floors. I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, let me fix these up for you, bro. I'm like, I can't afford you to have these do this. He's like, did I ask you for any money? I'm like, but that man, look at my hardwood floors. He's like, Snowman, man, just I tell you what, man. And I'm like, what do you mean you tell me what? He goes, 30 pack of Mountain Dew, a Butterfinger, and you buy me some supplies and we're straight. I'm like, man, come on, it's gotta be, man, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna argue with you, brother. And I gotta tell you, when he was done, that would showroom floor post on the internet of how good they looked.
Oh God, they looked amazing.
Yeah. And I'm just standing, I'm like, man, I gotta give you soap. And he's like, no, man, we just get on the road. Let's get back out to wrestling. And I'm like, I said, brother, I love you. And the stories I got with that guy, like, he got me started on to where when I would go on a road trip, you had to find he would love to find beers that you couldn't get in
Mhm.
Kansas. One of them was a beer called Stroh's.
Yeah.
So it became our life's mission every time we went somewhere to find Stroh's. Well, I've got a few photos of we were by Chicago, and I love this one because we walk into the liquor store, and the coolers there. You had like this section, and like the section no one buys, and there was Stroh's, and we just start grabbing 30 packs and throwing them out of the cooler. And the guy comes over and goes, "You crazy guys! You want Dudley? I give you cart beer. You want the cart?" And we're like, we're buying it all. And Troy is like, "Yeah, mate, we got." And he's holding up a 30 pack in each arm. He's like,
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I used to look forward to every weekend seeing if you guys found
Stroh's.
them. Yeah. It was one of those like I would wake up, early in the morning and like because I stay in contact with everybody and like I had everybody on Facebook, so like I knew when shows were, so like I knew who was going where everybody was going, so like I knew you guys were on the road somewhere. All right, because you guys would either one of you guys would either call me or I'd be just happen to call you guys, and oh man, those pictures.
There was
He,
we had
it
a
was like he was a proud dad.
we had a we had a green kid with us. Well, he's not green anymore. He's actually turned into a great wrestler. The marksman.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was when he was cutting his teeth. We got him on the road with us, and he's just like he was more fascinated. He just wanted to be there the moment we found Stroh's. Like, we'd see a liquor store, we'd pull in there, we're running it. Well, okay, we walked fast, we didn't run. So we're walking in there, and he's like fogging up. He's like, "Are they gonna find it? Are they gonna find it? Are they gonna find it?" And for those of you who know what Tarzan used to sound like, when we did
Oh my God, that's great. Oh man, God, I remember whenever. Yeah, I honestly don't even remember whenever I first fucking met Troy. I mean, to be fair, I didn't even know what his real name was until after he died.
right?
Yeah, so it's like I just knew him as either Midnight Rose or Blade Braxton. I
Right.
I don't even remember how I met him, but like I remember going to a show in Atchison, and I was wrestling Brandon for the first time, and the entire drive up there, I mean, it was like maybe 30-40 minute drive. Me and Brandon we're going over the match because we knew we were working against each other, and
Uh-huh.
he we had it to where like Brandon was going over, and I was like, okay, cool, like whatever. Like if that's my role, I'm gonna be the jobber. Cool,
Sure.
whatever. I'm in the ring. That's all that I give a shit about. We get there. I walk in, and there's Blade. He's like, "Money Man."
Really.
Yeah, he's got his arm up. It's like a secret fucking thing. I'm like, Blade. He's like, "Man, how you been?" And I'm like, "Good." And like, I think I'd only seen him like maybe a couple other times, and I'm still like,
Yeah.
for the life of me, I'm still trying to
I don't know if you
figure
can
out.
see this, but 1987, 88 middle school, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Now that I dated myself for everybody, but
yeah, yeah, he was just, like he was so open and he was so friendly and he opened his arms to people and just accepted you as a friend, because like if I was a friend of yours,
hmm
I was a friend of his.
yeah,
If you considered me a brother, he considered me a brother, and that was always
yes.
so special to me because my just knowing him and watching him, because like his gimmick, his Midnight Rose gimmick was so interesting to me, because I was like, I did for the longest time I never did quite get it until I actually got to know him a little bit more, and that my entire life's mission was, I was like, I want to be in the Rose Garden, which was his group of guys,
Yeah.
and I was like, and because it was it was elite group of people to be in
Oh
there.
yes.
It's like people that
And
he wanted in there.
the Rose Garden, as much as I loved everybody in that group, and Midnight Rose himself were my biggest nemesis in wrestling.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a picture of him hitting me and it was one of his favorite pictures ever. But it was me caught midair like this, with my hair flying up because he smacked me, and it's him. You could see him hitting me in the back, and he loved that picture. And actually, he got me on everyone's. I don't know. There was this movie called Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
Yes, and Troy was very, very big in the trauma films. And he goes, Snowman, I got a little something, something for you. I'm like, all right, brother, what you got? He's like, how would you like to be on DVD for sale at every Walmart across the world? And I'm like, okay, I didn't know Troy did drugs, but I'll go ahead and play. What are we doing here? Well, he's like, well, at this show, man, I'm working on this gimmick for Toxic Avenger 21st anniversary. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Man, I trust you, brother. Let's do it. So we do a couple scenes in the ring before the show starts. Next thing you know, on the extras of the 21st anniversary of the Toxic Avenger, I'm on the goddamn extras. And it's him. First it shows me hitting Troy, and then the next thing you know, he kills me and then puts his foot through my head, and my head explodes.
And that's what that's what I loved about him was that I remember I had called him at some point because I had a question because I had a friend of mine that was looking to do some floor work, and I think I got a hold of him to see what he charged, and so we were just
Yeah.
chit chatting back and forth afterwards, and I was like, "What are you working on these days?" And this was shortly, I think, before he passed away. He's like, "Oh, I'm doing this, gimmick for trauma and unsolved mysteries." He's like, "I really want to get you in there," and I was like, "Dude, say less. I'm in." And then he ended up passing away, and I was like, and while I was also sad, like he knew, like everyone knows that, like I grieve differently, so naturally I was like, that fucker will do anything not to book me. That I was like, that horny motherfucker.
Kayfabe till the end, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, and then getting the news that he died. I mean, I've lost a lot of people, a lot of friends,
Yeah,
but that one hit.
it
That
did.
I don't think I'd been that upset about somebody dying in quite a while, and because I thought I still have a picture of him hanging up. I'm gonna go grab a.
All right.
It's one of my favorite pictures,
Okay.
but in true classic fashion, I don't show his face. It's me. I don't even. I remember during that match. I think it was one of the first shows that you had me working Shane Sanders, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember you. I remember you coming up to me and be like, "Money, you got Shane. Make him look good." And I was like, "No." And he's like, and I remember you sold me on it. He's like, "Well, Rose is going to be out there with you." I'm in. Okay. So I don't know how many times in my like cheating gimmick that I would walk over to Rose and be like, "I'm having way too much fun with you out here, man. Why haven't we been doing this forever?"
I ran into the very first Midwest Mania, which was in front of that bar in South wherever Topeka.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was in the crowd. He had this little white band. I didn't even recognize him. I hadn't seen him in years. But then I heard this, "Hey, Tom." I looked over and I saw that smile, and I was like, dude! And we reconnected, and then fast forward, we started doing those shows in Mayetta. And he was out in the crowd, and I had to work this guy who had absolutely no idea what he was doing, but I had to make him look good. And I'm not even going to mention the guy's name because he ended up being not such a good human being. But anyway, I went up to Troy. I said, "Hey, bro, I need a manager because I got to go under a hood to make this guy look like $1 million." He said, "Say no more, man." He goes, "I just have one demand." I'm like, "Name it. It's yours. I'll gift wrap it. I don't care." He goes, "I got this mask I got to wear." I'm like, "I don't care how. What? Wear it. Wear it." And he puts on the flowered midnight rose mask. And I was expecting like a mask with swords, a mask with skulls, a mask with this. And no, it was flowers.
It was so. Oh,
And I'm like, really? You were concerned about flowers?
yeah.
But he was there, and as soon as because my gimmick, I was under a hood. I didn't talk that much. He got me heat from the time I left the curtain to the time I left back. People, he brought the heat like you couldn't believe, and it was amazing. And there's another funny story for all you internet gurus out there that like to research stuff. Look up, there's an episode of Raw. And this is back when Mickie James was wrestling. He was front row. He jumped around, and Mickie James was his true crush.
Oh, yeah.
He jumped around and acted so crazy during that whole episode of Raw. Towards the end, security came up to him and said, "Hey, man, you had your 5 minutes of fame. Can you take the mask off and sit down?" I'm like, bank that memory. Bank it, bank it, bank it. I remember sitting at home watching that show and seeing him bounce. I mean, oh man, especially when Mickie came out, he went nuts.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you had texted me. Are you watching Raw? No, not right now. You need to put it on. And I did, and there it is, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I was like, fuck. Like, damn it, Blade.
Like, right?
Oh my god. So, anyway, you got a show coming up.
Yo, yes. Yeah. I am doing this. I live in a small town now, which after living in the bigger towns and all, I love small town life. And when you live in a small town, certain parts of the small town are hubs of the community. Mm-hmm. And in this community, we have a community center where the kids we have open gym days. They rent it out for funerals, weddings, community barbecues. I mean, whatever. Well, anyway, the roof started leaking. And if they fix it now, it's only $30,000. I know, only $30,000. But if they wait and let it go totally bad, you're looking over $100,000. So it makes sense to do. So we just, as soon as we found out, we started throwing, fundraiser this, fundraiser that, fundraiser this, and finally I was like, what about a wrestling show? And they said okay. And one thing that really helped out was, well, back in the day, years ago, we were always doing charity shows for whatever causes.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Well, do you remember that one that we did in Topeka, Kansas for that young, he was I don't know, he infant at the time, but he was not given a long shot of survival, and it was called Night for Jacoby.
Yeah, Night for Jacoby, yeah.
One of his relatives is the guy that runs the center that we're going to wrestle at.
Oh, okay.
So he knows what good we can do. He knows our heart's in the right place. And he goes, I loved that show. And I'm like, well, we'll do it again. So April 4th in Auburn, Kansas at the community center. We're going to have a show to raise money to fix that roof. And I'm looking forward to it. I know the town's excited. Most of these people have not had, the only thing they know about professional wrestling is what they see on the TV and they see on the internet. And we know, you and I both know, that a live show is always better than on TV.
Oh, yes. Yes, there's nothing better than live wrestling.
Yeah, and the more people you get at a live show, the more fun it is.
Oh, yeah.
You get the yays, you get the boos, you get the chants, you get the, this side likes this guy, this side likes this guy, and it's great, and you get to experience the lovely concessions from a wrestling show, which back in our day was IGA, Great Pop, and boiled hot dogs. But however, we have a great crew doing the concessions, so we've really improved on that.
Okay. Okay.
As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we go to Atchison, Hutchinson? There's a few times that was our payday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hot dog
yeah,
and a handshake?
Yeah, hot dog handshake, but you had to pay for your Diet Shasta orange soda.
Yeah, Shasta. Man, that was almost name brand to us because we were living so cheap.
Yeah, that's why we had to pay for it.
Digging through your seat cushions in your car looking for a quarter. Money, gas money, or do I want a Shasta? I really like a Shasta.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, I mean, we could always just go to, like, hope to God that there's a gas station that's got those hot dogs, that've been rolling around for like 55 hours.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you guys sold jerky. That ain't jerky, boy. That's a hot dog. Okay.
Yeah.
Or remember, like, way back in the day when, for those that don't know, back in the gas stations, everyone's seen the gas station burrito. Well, they used to come in foil packages. So you could pop the hood on your car, lay it on the manifold, and in 20 miles, you'd have a hot dinner.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've all been there.
Or you played it smart and just got a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter before you left the house. And that'll keep you alive for at least a couple road trips.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, who all's involved in the show so far?
Well, we've got a lot of great young talent, a lot of great talent that's been around for a while. I reached out to guys from WWX, reached out to guys from KCW, I reached out to the company in Junction, traditional pro wrestling out of Junction City, and I got guys coming from Nebraska, and so yes, Donnie Peppercricket's on the card, Brian Blade is on the card, Mr. Fitness is on the card, JC Thunder's on the card. So there's you got veterans coming in. Flex Reed is on the card. Bones Connolly is on the card. If he can steal a card to get us to the show. But then we've got all these young new guys coming in that are hungry and they're ready to get out there and perform for everybody. And it's going to be a good show, and I'm really excited. And it should be all right, And people might get to see the old, Tommy Snow titty twister and butt bite one last time. Which, yes, I know, out of all of that, the thing that people remembered the most.
Yeah, listen, mine are still very sensitive, okay?
That's only because I had to grab skin from your back and your abdomen to form a boobie so I could actually have something to squeeze.
That's neither here nor there, Tommy. Thankfully, I've put on 50 pounds since then.
So now you're up to 125. Okay.
Oh, God, no, sir. I am now up to like 160. Thank you very much. Seriously, yeah. After my back surgery, and I wasn't allowed to do shit for,
There's no way we're 25 pounds apart.
Yeah. Most of mine's in my stomach, though. Like, I look like I'm like 5 months pregnant.
I've heard of that. It's like
Yeah.
I used to tell people I was pregnant and it was an elephant. I saw the trunk the other day. I tried to pull it out, but it just spit on me. I just made the edit reel, didn't I?
No, I don't have it. Shit. Oh, you know what's great about this is like most of the people that are gonna watch this are like friends of ours. So, they're gonna expect it, but like those few people that don't know you are gonna be so like, what the fuck? And I'm be like, I told you. I'll even in the intro, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna warn you right now. If you get easily offended, do not watch this episode. But actually, watch this episode because I want to see what the comments are.
Oh, yeah, and it's just we come from such a history of some of the greatest guys to work in this area. I mean, guys like he now goes under the name Miles Plunk, uh, Space Cowboy Jason Jones, Brandon Bennett, Derek Stone, just all those guys that way back. I mean, really, if you think about it, what was there back in the day? 2, maybe 3 wrestling companies in the whole state,
Yeah,
and now it's huge, which I'm glad to see. Very glad to
yeah,
see. Guys don't have to drive, 8, 16 hours just to get a match in.
and pray to God that on the way home that the person that you put in the passenger seat stayed the fuck awake.
Awake, yes. Your job, if you're a passenger, your job was to keep the driver awake.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I had that one redheaded bastard in my passenger seat asleep within like 10 fucking minutes of the drive. You know?
Oh, yeah. Those were the guys who woke up with Sharpie stuff on their face if they fell asleep in the car with me.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Because
I don't
that
know how
used
many
to.
times.
And how grateful and awesome is it that we didn't have like the whole cell phone thing?
Oh, yeah, it was. Dude, I remember working a show in Nebraska for uh, Brian Blade, and then driving all the way home, and then the next day driving to Iowa all by myself. Well, I went.
Mhm.
I think I went to. No, I went both of those shows by myself, and I remember driving home, thinking to myself, "There's no fucking possible way I'm going to be awake during any of this." And you didn't have a phone to call anybody. Like, luckily, like I think I learned. Like I stopped at a gas station. I ran into a couple of people that I know. So
I remember when I was, my divorce was so ugly, I pretty much got ostracized from all my immediate shoot family. So I remember driving home just like you by myself and thinking, who do I have down for my emergency contact other than 911?
right.
Yeah, talk to somebody with a stethoscope. Other than that, I got nothing for you, bud. But
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how many times I thought to myself on the drive home, or during the show, like, man, I hope I don't get fucking like jacked up or hurt because that's gonna be a wonderful try to like drive home adventure. I think honestly, whenever I showed up to a show by myself, I think I wrestled safer because I knew I was like I'm the one that has to drive home.
oh
Like I don't
yeah,
have that. I don't have that co-pilot.
and getting pulled over was somewhat always entertaining too because
I think it was a ritual. Like it was
I
a rite of passage for all of us.
yeah, I went on a stint there where I was getting tickets left and right, and finally I learned the fine art of cruise control to where that kind of solved that problem. And then one of the funny ones was it was shortly after that match with Killer Carl in Holton, Kansas. And it was a hardcore match. We were both had all the color in the world. Well, I had to get home because I had a function next day I had to be there for. So you remember that little green S10 that I had?
Yeah.
I hop in that and I'm flying as fast as I can to get home. And mind you, I did not clean my face off.
Of course not. Why would you?
I was still halfway in gear. I was in my street shoes because I took my boots off, but I'm like, I'll just get the rest later. I'm zipping through. I'm almost home, and the weeboos come up behind me. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Now, in the bed of that truck, I had the broken chairs, pieces of table, the TV monitor that we used in back to watch the matches, and old Barbie, my barbed wire bat. And state trooper comes up and he's like, "Can I see your license? Are you okay?" And I'm like, and I literally looked at the guy. I was like, and I got dried blood on my face. I was like, "Yeah, what's the matter?" And I looked in the rearview mirror. Like, oh, that's the matter. I can explain this.
Oh yeah, the
He goes,
infamous.
in
I can
27
explain
years
this.
of the highway patrol, I've never seen anything like this before. I'm like, it's okay. I'm a wrestler.
Oh my god! So there was a string of every single time that I left your house or a show that you were on. If I was driving or Brandon was driving, we got pulled over. There's two spots right
Okay.
just outside of Valley Falls,
Yeah.
or right just outside of Atchison after you cross over the river. You're going to St. Joe, which weirdly coincidental was like right next to where my ex's new husband had lived. So just those two spots every single time, and like I was like, man, I need to stop fucking seeing Tommy. He is cursing me with police officers. One time, and I kid you not, I got pulled over after a show. I got my gear in the back, and I still had a little bit of the guy liner that I wore. I got it all smeared, and one of my eyes had red and blue and green guy liner on it to where it honestly looked like I was on some shit. And I get pulled over, and he looks at me, and he's, "Rough night?" "Yeah, not really. Why? What's up?" "You look a little beat up." The look in the mirror, I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Yeah. You on any drugs?" "No."
Got
"Do
any?
you have any weapons?" He's like, "Do you have any weapons in your car?" And I'm thinking, what the fuck do I have in my bag? I'm like, shit, what the... I know I have something in my bag. Did I bring the tire iron in the bag? And I was like, so to be a smartass, I was like, well, I got a sword. He's like, why do you have a sword? And I was like, and mind you, I'm hyped up, I'm tired at the same time between the energy drinks, the nicotine, everything is, the adrenaline
Oh,
was still going on. I was like, well, ninjas, you never know where those bastards are going to be.
yes, you never know. And it was dark. They could pop out anywhere.
Exactly. It's like, I didn't know if you were a ninja, so you're like, I got a sword. And he's like, I'm going to let you go with a warning, but, you should probably clean yourself up and, put
Yes. Well,
the sword at home.
a couple times the cop, they were like, "You been drinking, son?" I'm like, "No, but I plan on it when I get home."
That was oh my God. So like you guys, the listeners to the show, if you've never been to an after show get together with Tommy, it was
Hey, we ate good and we drank good.
we ate really well and we drank really well. I've got sandwich, still tell stories about it. Brandon and
Okay.
I still talk about it, like
That one shot I gave him scarred him for life.
yes, it did. And I won't go into everything that happened in the after show party because we're keeping that kayfabe. Because I'm also
Yes.
pretty sure the statute of limitations on a lot of that shit. So.
Let's just kayfabe that.
Yeah, kayfabe that. Right? But my God, the amount of stupid that happened during those times of like, and I really do not recommend drinking and driving, but I also do not recommend trying to sober up and thinking, after 2-3 hours of, not drinking anything, that driving home is a smart idea. Just so you can get to work that next morning and like pull in to your house long enough to grab your work shirt and then go into your job, because I've done that. And I remember everyone looking at me with like the bruising that's forming, like the scrapes, the cuts, the dried blood in your hair, like makeup or whatever, I'm wearing. And
Yeah,
everyone,
your eyes a little
rough night.
swollen. They're like, "You okay? That's fine. What's the matter?"
I think my favorite one was I remember we did a show with Donovan at some fair show, and I think it was a 2-shot thing. Like we did one in the morning, we did one in the evening, and that first that first uh that first round, he was like nobody was really just nobody was just like making anything believable, and like he's yelling at us, God damn it, if you're gonna fucking like hit somebody, make it fucking believable. And all me and Brandon were thinking of was Sonny, like if you're gonna
Sonny,
hit
yeah, you're gonna hit a
if you're gonna
cocksucker.
hit a
Yeah, hit
cocksucker, you
a
gotta
cocksucker.
hit a cocksucker, right?
And he always
So
had that knuckle out too. Yeah, hit a
yeah,
cocksucker.
so I remember me and Brandon, we just straight up just grabbed each other by the back of the head and just fucking hockey fought, and then afterwards we go to like we went to the Chinese restaurant afterwards. I don't know if you guys ended up joining us, but I remember the person that was in charge was like, "Oh no, we don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble." And I'm like, "Dude, I just want some fucking crab ragoon and a drink, man. I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. I'm."
Yeah,
And then
give
I
it up,
like
guys.
I was like, I realize I'm bleeding, but like whatever. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Those
Oh
were
yeah,
great times. So, but yeah,
memorable. Very, very memorable.
yeah. All right, man. So we're gonna wrap this up. Let's one more time. When's the show?
April 4th, Auburn, Kansas, at the community center. Doors open at 4:00. It's only $10 for adults, $5 for kids under 8. It's for a great cause. I would like to see everybody come out there. This is going to be a brand new experience for a lot of people, and it's going to be a great experience, and I can't wait to see everybody. I want to see everybody out there. It's going to be super great. Like I said, a lot is going into putting in this show. I'm saving money I don't have to use Hair Club for Men anymore because everyone knows I'm old. And but no, anyway, it's for the Auburn Community Center. We're going to get this. We're going to help this community out. We're going to come together. We're going to show some actual unity and come in, and we're going to make this happen. And I really, please, everyone, please, please, please come to the show, Auburn, Kansas. It's going to be great.
All right,
Aaron,
all right.
Brother, thank you so much for having me on. This has been a great time. I know we could
Yeah.
go on for hours just with
Oh, we could.
war stories
could.
and all types of stuff. And then I'd really have to up the ante, go fire up the barbecue grill, pop a beer, and sit in front of it so we could really bring back nostalgia.
Yeah, yes. I'm telling you what, I might, we've been talking about this for a while, get together with a couple of the other boys, whether it be like this or maybe try to do one in person, and just, war stories, have a special edition
Yes.
of what life was
And
like before, all
just
this.
so everyone knows how tight we are, my beautiful, wonderful wife was married. We got married, and money was the officiant.
Yes.
And I'm standing at the altar, and the music that she comes down to is the theme music from The Princess Bride. And I look over at him. I said, "You're going to, aren't you?" He goes, "I have to. I have to."
Have to.
So as soon as we're both standing there getting married, he goes, "Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today." And love, whoa, love.
It was
That is
there,
one of
man.
my
I had
greatest
to.
memories.
Let's also not forget the other line that I threw in there about
The next one.
catching the next one. Yeah. Because
Okay. Fun
well,
fact,
guys,
wrestling, you go through a lot of relationships. And
yes,
brother here, he got married a couple times and he was getting married again. And I was booked. I don't know what the deal was, but I just jokingly said, I'll come to the next one.
yeah.
I didn't realize the next one would have that big an impact, and I guess it did. But hey, it worked out because right now we're
Oh,
both in great places. We both got great women, and we are
yes,
both really rocking life.
yes, yes, we
And
are.
if you can
And
make it to this show, that would be awesome. And everyone, if he can, that would be a great person to meet because his podcast is awesome. Everyone's got a story, and he gives the platform for you to tell it.
I appreciate that, Tom. So,
Hey,
all right,
and the world
go to.
appreciates you and needs you.
Thank you very much. All right, everyone. Yes, please go to Auburn, Kansas, April 4th. Get there early because you want to get good seats.
Yes.
You want to see the blood. You want to. Well, I don't know about blood. I don't think
No blood.
there
Yeah.
no blood.
I
All
hope
right.
not.
You
No,
want
shouldn't be.
you want to see these men just beating the crap out of each other because whatever you've heard about like professional wrestling, trust me, we beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, it's going to be
Then we'll
fun.
go have beers afterwards. So, but yes, go see the show. Tommy, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Love
So,
you, brother.
all right. Thanks again, Tom.
Anytime.
What's up, guys? In Your Head with Shannon Stanford is a podcast where Shannon talks to everyday people with everyday problems. Everyone has a story, and every story should be told. So you listen right now to Shannon's podcast on Spotify and many other places, y'all. Come on, man. Be the light. Peace.
Oh man. Oh man. That was so fun. I always love talking to Tommy. I always love, getting to chat with, the boys. I don't talk about my time in wrestling a lot on here, but it holds a special place in my heart. And Tommy is that big brother that I, never had. And he's such a great guy, and just being able to catch up with him was so great. I don't think I've laughed that hard in such a long time. But that's just a conversation with me and Tommy. Like in this case, you forget that that the camera's rolling. It was so great to catch up with him, and you should definitely go check out that show in Auburn. I promise you will not be disappointed if you love professional wrestling and you love people doing things for good causes. Definitely go and show some love to the town of Auburn. Help them rebuild, the roof of the community center, because that place is amazing. It's amazing town. It's great people there. I anytime that I'm in there, I enjoy anybody that I ever run into. They're such salt of the earth people, and wrestling. I mean, it's just great entertainment, and the men and the women that are involved in wrestling are some of the greatest human beings on earth. Because a lot of the people that I know that are going to be there are just superb people. I love all of them dearly, and getting to talk to Tommy about anything is always fun. Um, talking about and revisiting, the people that we lost is always great, because we will never not take an opportunity to talk about, Johnny or Blade. There's so many of them that we have lost, but those are always great moments. I had so much fun with this interview. It honestly wasn't even an interview. It was just a conversation with a brother, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. This has been a great episode. Probably one of my favorites that I've had. So, thanks again. Well, until next time, guys.
And the shadows where the lights fade away, a legend rises but had to betray. Patrick Moneymaker, the vow he made, in the ring of fate, his glory displayed. Blood, sweat, and tears in every round, with the crowd roars, he took his crown. OBM money, your legacy calls, in the darkened arena where the hero falls. From the brutal battles to the final fight, a dream come true in the dead of the night. Is the circle where the power lay, through the ropes he fought, come what may. From the church of Charlie, a savior of sin, the book of Sheen was fuel from within. Retired too soon, but the echoes remain. A king in the ring, embraced all the pain. BM money, your legacy calls, in the darkened arena where the hero falls. From the brutal battles to the final fight, a dream come true in the dead of the night. Come true in the dead of the night. Looking back now, embracing the past, with a heart full of pride, the memories last. OBM money, your legacy calls, in the darkened arena where the hero falls. From the brutal battles to the final fight, a dream come true in the dead of the night. The dead of the night. Looking back now, embracing the past, with a heart full of pride, the memories last.